Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Fox98 here, and welcome back to a brand new video for you guys today here on the channel. Today we're here for round number 2 and episode number 3 of my F1 2019 career mode for you guys today here on the channel. We are here for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and I'm really looking forward to this race. Obviously, with the brand new lighting system that's in the game, it's going to be really interesting to see how it all pans out. But if you guys do enjoy today's video, don't forget to feel free to drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it. And if you are new around here as well, please click that subscribe button and don't miss a single video that I do upload by pressing the notification bell as well. And that's how you think of that. So, as you can see, we are here for the start of qualifying. As you can see, it is looking absolutely stunning here at Bahrain, and the lighting is absolutely sensational. Like, they've done a stellar job with it. But we start things off on a bit of a bad note here. As you can see, we've got a sensor fault. It's only going to leave us in the garage for about 2 minutes or so it's not that much of a problem, if I'm perfectly honest with you. But obviously, nonetheless, it's still setting us back. So yeah, that's what we just got to do on that front. But as you can see, we skip through the time just so we can obviously avoid any issues with regards to that. And then we're going to go out there and try and set some good laps. On to my first lap then in qualifying. As you can see, we're coming around the final corner here, and we're trying to use Lando Norris like a reference point, but he actually came into the pits here. And as you can see, it was a really, really bad lap, like 2.9 seconds off the pace. And I was really struggling to qualify, just like I did in Australia, and yeah, it was really, really tough for myself. Coming through then in towards the last corner here on my second and final qualifying lap, I actually went really, really wide here, lost a bunch of time, but I was only a tenth of a second up in the first place. So really for myself, I was again 2.9 seconds off the pace, and that's only going to be good enough for P19. Yet again, just like in Australia, we're down in P19, and qualifying really is something that I've obviously pre-recorded quite a few races, and obviously just done loads of races myself in the game. I'm really, really struggling with qualifying, like quite a lot. Yeah, this is just another salt to my wounds. I was only faster than Robert Kubica, which is kind of awkward. Yeah, as you can see there, out in Q1, Norris gets through into Q2. But hopefully when I start to get a bit more information on the game, and maybe if there's a patch to come out soon, I can work on it.
Today, let's have your take. Are you hoping to have your reliability issues sorted out before qualifying?
There are no reliability issues, it's just me.
You won't be starting at the front of the pack. Are you worried?
No, I'm in a McLaren, what do you expect? Didn't think that would actually annoy the team, not gonna lie.
Well, thanks anyway.
Alright, bye, Claire. Yeah, I didn't think that answer would actually annoy McLaren, but it did. So yeah, whoops.
The curtain rises once more then on the desert stage of Sakir as the players take their places for the opening act. Will they enthrall us like they did in 2014 with that titanic battle between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton? Well, we'll find out shortly as we get underway here in Bahrain. Formula One returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36 mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities. It could be a strategic race, this one, with Sakir notorious for eating up the rear tyres. Watch out for drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix. Bahrain has showed us many times in the past, though, Anthony Davidson, that a good strategy will only take you so far. Beyond that, you need good racecraft and you need good consistency.
And a little bit of luck too, I'd say. This is one of those circuits where the safety car always seems to come out just at the right time to condense the field together and mix up the cars on different strategies. It's hard on brakes, it's tough on fuel, and the main overtaking opportunity is down into turn 1, where it's easy to outbrake your opponent and potentially have a bit of argy-bargy as well.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Gasly, Valtteri Bottas and Verstappen, Butler, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg and Kevin Magnussen, Perez, Norris, Romain Grosjean and Albon, Raikkonen, Faber, George Russell and Antonio Giovinazzi. Thomas and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, so we're on the grid here then for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and it's going to be a one-stop strategy. We're going to start on the soft tyres and then move to the hard tyres for the end of the Grand Prix, and that is going to be our stint. But anyway, we are on the grid then for this Bahrain Grand Prix. We've got 5 red lights here to start this Grand Prix off, and it is lights out, and away we go here to start the Bahrain Grand Prix. Those light sequences took an absolute age there, but we're finally underway, and it's been a decent start for us actually. But once again, that secondary phase of the start is where I really struggle versus the AIs. So with Kubica in front of me, I'm now going to go down the inside here of as many cars as I possibly can without obviously breaking my front wing and breaking anyone else in the process there. And you can see we've got past Giovinazzi and the 2 Williams cars there in towards the first corner. Now we've got the slipstream here on Toro Rosso of Danny Kvyat, I believe it is, and we're going to go and try and move to the inside line, and we do just that here. Go down the inside of Kvyat here, nearly making contact there with Alex Albon, but we just about managed to avoid going into the back of him here as we go a little bit wide on the exit, but already making up a couple of places then off the start now as we go flying through this left and right sequence here. And now we've got a good run here to go down the inside of Alexander Albon, and we do just that. Have a look there at Romain Grosjean as well, but it's just not quite close enough for me there, and I've got to wait a little bit longer before I can get past Romain Grosjean, but we should be able to get that one done quite easily there as Albon there did have a little bit of a sneaky look at us there. It was quite clever from Alexander Albon, but it didn't work on that occasion. As we now go down the straight here, we can see that my teammate is slipstreaming one of the Sauber cars of Kimi Raikkonen, or the Alfa Romeo, should I say. We're now trying to go onto the back of Romain Grosjean in the Haas car here, but it's not working, but we go very wide there on the exit, just losing the back end. I think I was going to go for a run on Grosjean around the outside, but unfortunately for myself, I just went a little bit off track, lost the back end of the car, and nearly went all the way off into the gravel, but we kept it in play now as we go on the straight here. We got a good run on that Haas car, but he's got incredible straight line speed, but we go down the inside of Grosjean nonetheless, though, into the last corner, barging our way past him, getting the elbows out a bit on Romain Grosjean, and that is us up now into a higher position in this race. And now we're on the back of Norris, but here comes Grosjean once again now on the straight here with that Ferrari power. He's going to really try and fight me for this one in towards the first corner. Romain Grosjean and myself going side by side, the replay cameras doing all the justice here, but we are holding it around the outside, and we managed to fend off against Romain, and we keep our position. But Romain Grosjean does get another good exit here, and now onto turn 4 on the run up towards turn 4. Grosjean goes for it again, but we've got the inside line this time, and we can just force Grosjean wide and keep the position. And decent start for us there. We're doing a good job. I think we're 13th, no, 14th at the moment. But on to lap 3 of the Grand Prix now. We're catching up to the back of Lando Norris and trying to make some inroads onto his position. And you can see all of us on soft tyres at the moment as we try and go up the hill now, as you can see, in towards the middle sector here, and trying to see if we can find our best bet to attack Norris, get onto the curb ever so slightly there. But we now make a lunge down the inside here, attacking Lando Norris. A little bit of a bargy move there, but we do get the position nonetheless. Norris left the door open, and even if it means that we have to do a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, at the end of the day, that's just racing. So, you know, deal with it, Lando. But we're now up into P13. Next up the road is Kimi Raikkonen for 12th place, and then we've got Kevin Magnussen to deal with. So we've got a couple of cars at the road that we really can get past. We've got the 2 racing points are getting away quite quickly from us, so they're going to be the ones I'm going to be worried about the most. But as you can see now, going up the hill here, we're going to try to get a run on Raikkonen, and look at the amount of aero that we've got here, just trying to fly on through, going a little bit off track there, trying to overtake Kimi Raikkonen, now towards the outside line. Raikkonen just about gives us the room there, and now we can continue to try and pull away. We use Rich Mixture here to try and get that advantage, but Raikkonen's Ferrari power unit comes back at us very, very quickly. We break a little bit early into the last corner for a tactical switchback move here, and we do just that. Nice well executed there, but we just didn't quite get the run, and we just don't quite have the pace here. But now with that DRS coming into play, overtaking Rich Mixture, now we're going to start winning this drag race here in towards turn 1. There's also a Haas car, I think, of Magnussen attacking Hulkenberg in the foreground as we now go through. Norris now fights off with Kimi Raikkonen, and those two can have a little bit of a scrap, and they can lead me to just wander off into the distance now. I'm perfectly fine if that happens, so you guys carry on doing your own thing, and I will just try and pull away now with Magnussen. Interestingly, on the medium tyres, so he's doing a different strategy potentially, or maybe he just wants to go long in the first stint. But on to lap 6 of the Grand Prix now, and we're pushing onwards. We've got Ricciardo, Hulkenberg and Magnussen having a fantastic scrap up front here for P9 overall it will be. And this is going to be quite interesting for us because we need to try and see if we can work ourselves into the points here as we now go through in towards this fast-paced right and left-hander. Very good run for myself here. We're much closer to Kevin Magnussen than we should be. Going down the inside here. I had a look. I got Magnussen, sorry. I did actually make contact there with Hulkenberg, but on this occasion, Hulkenberg here gets that run, and eventually he's got the inside line, and I have to just left off the position there. I probably would have maybe given the place back to Hulkenberg because I did sort of just like whack into the side of him. Yeah, you can see here that Hulkenberg actually went a little bit deep into the corner, but unfortunately on the exit, Hulkenberg just has that more straight line speed than us, and that's really what's compromising me in this McLaren so far is, well, it's a dog in a straight line. It doesn't move. It's quite upsetting for myself. But we're just going to have to stay behind now, and you can see how much faster we are through the corners here as we nearly go into the back of Hulkenberg there, and I go a little bit wide on the exit just to try and just put less compromise on myself a bit, but that's going to play into the hands of Kevin Magnussen now, who's going to come at me a little bit here, and he's going to go towards the inside line, and goes for the attempt here of the overtake, and we close that door off very, very heavily there, and defend against Magnussen, very well executed. Now with the DRS here, I'm going to use Rich and overtake. This will keep me in close proximity with Hulkenberg, as he's going to have DRS and Ricciardo in front, and this should just keep me in front of Magnussen, and it does so. So as you can see here, Hulkenberg and Ricciardo go side by side into the first corner. Hulkenberg should come out on top, but Ricciardo's going to have a slightly better run on the exit, and he does so as they go up towards turn 4 now. Ricciardo with the DRS then holds on against Nico Hulkenberg, but for ourselves down, we need to try and find a way through. We have a look there at the inside line on Hulkenberg, but the move was just not on that occasion. And now, as you can see here, Ricciardo versus Hulkenberg, but we're in a position whereby in this left to right we can go for the attack, and you know what we like to do in this specific section of the circuit, make those moves down the inside, and that's what we're going to do here. Go down the inside of Nico Hulkenberg, and that little spot there seems to be my favourite overtaking spot. It's where I'm just passing everybody right now. But onto Daniel Ricciardo next here, onto lap 7 of the Grand Prix, and well, my overtake on Ricciardo is not actually going to be in my traditional spot. Now Ricciardo doesn't have DRS on anybody, and I've got Rich in overtake mode. You can see I'm just gaining ever so much. Go to the outside line here, brake a little bit earlier than what Ricciardo's done, but that's going to allow me to just roll on the brakes a little bit and swoop around the outside and take the position on Daniel Ricciardo. And funnily enough, this year in F1 2019, I find it so much easier to make an overtake around the outside of somebody rather than down the inside, which is quite strange. It's a new thing for me, but yeah, it's quite interesting. But we do make the position up against Daniel Ricciardo. Now we can move on our way here onto lap 8 of the Grand Prix though. Ricciardo, you can see though, is very much still close to myself, and that's exactly what he's trying to do now. So I'm trying to get out of the slipstream of Ricciardo, but a great feature in F1 2019 is that these cars will stick right with you no matter where you go. So if I move over to defend get out of the break the slipstream, they will come and fight for that slipstream, and Ricciardo now is going to do just that here. We're defending heavily to the inside line. I move over to the outside, late maneuver there, because I know that I can go early on the brakes and then roll the car in, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here, because I just get that exit speed that I needed. But this time, Ricciardo and myself still side by side just here, but now as we open up the DRS here, up towards turn 4, Ricciardo hunting for that slipstream there, but it's not going to be working on that occasion, especially when I've got DRS as well at my disposal. You just can't make that overtake up towards turn 4 when you don't have DRS in your proximity there. Onto lap 10 of the Grand Prix now though, and you can see this is going to be our pit window, so we're going to be coming in at the end of this lap for a fresh set of hard tyres, and they're going to do the rest of the race for me. And you can tell here that the medium tyres just seem like a little bit of a weird strategy, as Hulkenberg now is the man that's closing up on me. So Ricciardo has been overtaken by Nico Hulkenberg, and we go in towards the last corner, cut the corner off right nicely there against Hulkenberg. Don't give him the opportunity to even think of making the overtake, but now we're going to come in from the pits and fit on a set of hard tyres and go to the end of the race. But yeah, I was just considering the reason that they obviously went on the medium tyres has kind of gone out of the window now, because I thought they might do something different as we get held there a little bit by the Alfa Romeo. That's not going to help us in our fight with the Renaults and the Haas car, but luckily we've got the undercut. Now the undercut is very powerful this year, and I'm going to try and use that to my advantage. But yeah, I'm just thinking if the medium tyres are going to do the same strategy as me, but are just on mediums, I'd rather just do the soft tyres, because you just have more performance out of them. And obviously in the last Grand Prix, well, we got strategy horribly wrong. So in this Grand Prix, I want to make sure I get my strategy right. So I'm sticking with what the team are doing for me, and that's what we're going to do. Keep pressing onwards now as we go on to lap 11 of this Grand Prix, lap out at 29, and we're in a comfortable position. P19 at the moment. It is at the back, but of course we need to wait for others to come in and make their pit stops, and they do just that. And you can see we're in front of Grosjean, and we're in front of Daniel Ricciardo as well. So we have made that move stick on both of those cars there, which is great, and we're now pressing onwards, and the undercut has worked in my favour, but not by much. They're still quite close to me, so in theory I think I might have had to have actually made the undercut work for me to get any form of a pace advantage there. Onto lap 16 of the Grand Prix now, Daniel Ricciardo here coming back at me, so he's made the the undercut work on Hulkenberg now as we go in towards the first corner here. Ricciardo goes for it down the inside, but we're going to swoop around the outside here. I actually made contact a little bit with Ricciardo here. I just poked my nose in towards that top corner. Very aggressive stuff there between myself and Ricciardo as we make the run up towards turn 4 now, and that's going to keep me in front of Danny Rick at the time being in our fight. For P10 at the moment. Of course, Grosjean is in front of us, but we've got a yellow flag in front of here, and I think that, speaking of Grosjean, I think that is him that's got the issue here. You can see that he's slowing down, so it is Romain Grosjean. I think he's got a puncture actually, which is a bit of a shame there for the Frenchman, but he's slowing down a lot more now, and he's actually out of the race itself. So Grosjean, with a mechanical failure, retires for the Haas car, and that can just allow me to just comfortably make my way on through and keep pressing onwards. On to lap 17 of the Grand Prix now, Daniel Ricciardo once again coming back at me with the straight line speed of that Renault car, just doing wonders in the slipstream against myself, and that's what I was struggling with. I really could not break the slipstream from these cars as we go very tight there on the exit of the final corner. I literally gave him literal minimal room there, and I'm obviously all entitled to do that, and you can see here now the gap to myself and Sergio Perez for P8, look, 10 seconds as Ricciardo now flies on through with DRS here. No chance I'm going to get that one, but once again, brake a little bit earlier and then just let the car roll into the apex there, cover off the inside line. Great defensive driving, and we can push onwards now. But yeah, I was really struggling because, of course, there's 3 DRS zones and they're on literally all the straights apart from the back straight, and I just could not break the slipstream and DRS from any of them. But we did manage to break the slipstream and DRS off of Daniel Ricciardo and also Kevin Magnussen. Hulkenberg got past Ricciardo once again, and now Nico makes the attack on myself here. He absolutely breezes past in the Renault car, but I'm just going to take the standard racing line, brake nice and later, and go deep into the apex, let the car roll on through, tighten up Hulkenberg's line into the apex of 1, and that is us through and up into P9. And at this stage in the race, I knew now every single form of defense and how to do it against these against my rivals. That's what I was really happy with. As you can see here, lap 21, I'm trying to save some ERS and also some fuel, because ERS is a big feature in 2019 as we now try and defend against Hulkenberg once again. And it's just the same tactic. That time, actually, Hulkenberg locked up, which lost himself some time there. And he still barged, he still gives me a little knock there. I thought he locked up and thought he lost time, but clearly not. So a little bit of a miscalculation on my behalf there. I didn't give him any room because, well, he locked up, so I didn't think he was still alongside me. I probably should have looked at my proxy hours a bit more. But yeah, this is now a straight fight for P9, because unfortunately the racing point of Sergio Perez, you can see there, is 11.7 seconds up the road. Really, really fast were both the racing points today of Devin Bulsack and Sergio Perez. So I couldn't do anything about them, so I was just focusing on trying to grab P9, which would be a great point scoring finish for myself today. And you can see now as we go flying through in towards this middle sector here, a little bit wide there on the exit. That corner really caused me problems all race long now as Hulkenberg here. I knew straight away I was going to be under pressure from Nico Hulkenberg, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. Hulkenberg with DRS now goes towards the outside line, but we brake nice and late on the insides here. We just, again, open up the exit for ourselves, and that just doesn't give Hulkenberg the line that he wants. He could try the switchback run, but I'll be able to cover that one off as we go round the outside now, and we're through and we're up back into P9 in this Grand Prix. But again, Hulkenberg is just going to be all over me here. Bit of the tank slapper on the exit there. And now Hulkenberg once again tries to find your slipstream onto lap 22 now to start lap 23. We've still got 6 laps to go, and we've literally been in a fight with these guys all race long as we cross the start-finish line there. And we did actually set a very good first sector, but it didn't work for us in the other parts of the lap here as Hulkenberg now comes with us at DRS. This time he's not quite fully side-by-side, but we still just let the car roll on through, open up the corner for myself, and that's a little bit of a tank slap on the exit or 2, but it's going to work in my favour because now up towards turn 4, Hulkenberg will have DRS, but it won't work on that occasion as, again, lap 23 here, Hulkenberg tries to go on the attack once again, and this time trying to open up my steering a little bit, and you can see Hulkenberg really just trying to find a way past at this point. I was really frustrating that Renault car. He was all over the back of me. I just couldn't get away from him. Like the likes of Magnussen and Ricciardo behind, I was easy to keep a gap to them, but I just couldn't get that gap out to Hulkenberg. And you can see that I'm doing so hard to try and manage ERS because it's such a big feature this year that you've really got to be careful with it. As we now go in towards the last corner here, breaking down into third a bit, I was starting to lose some confidence on my tyres at this stage. I've been pushing really, really hard just to defend against Hulkenberg here. And as we cross the start-finish line now, Hulkenberg once again comes at me with DRS, and that time around, he just absolutely breezed past. And I had a little look to see if I could go to the outside, but I decided to do the same trick this time. Just go to the inside line. I just stuck my car in there. Hulkenberg did turn in on me a bit, but we got the position. And I will say that there's obviously in this career mode, and probably for everyone, there's going to be a lots of bumper car moments with the AIs, because even when you make that move down the inside, the AIs will still turn in this if you're not there. It's a little bit frustrating there as Hulkenberg, though, in the background has got a problem this time. Same issue as Romain Grosjean. Hulkenberg now has the issue, and he is out of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Hulkenberg retires from the session, and that is his race over. And with that being said, that kind of meant my race was sort of over in a way, because we come on to the final lap of the Grand Prix now. Charles Leclerc wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. As for ourselves, it's going to be 9th place in this race, and that's a decent score of points for myself, which I was really, really needing. in that race. It was a hell of a lot of fun, though. We had such a great fight with both the Renault cars and the house of Kevin Magnussen, and we managed to come out on top. Still a long way, though, from the Racing Point cars. That's what I was really concerned about in this Grand Prix, how fast they were. Devin Bolsack and Sergio Perez really did give me a run for my money, and I finished a good 15 seconds or so behind them. So yeah, it was a bit difficult on that front. But anyway, as you can see then, Charles Leclerc wins the Bahrain Grand Prix ahead of Sebastian Vettel, so it's a Ferrari 1-2, which does mean that my career mode is completely unrealistic because Ferrari can't win anything. So I want a refund, please, on my game. I'd rather not have to deal with this. That'd be great. Thank you very much. I'm only taking the mic. Don't hurt me, Tifosi. But yeah, Charles Leclerc, fantastic race win for him. And I mean, in real life, if it wasn't for an issue, he would have absolutely battered everyone and won anyway. But there it is, top step of the podium for Charles Leclerc. It's a Mercedes 3-4 ahead of Red Bull 4-5, and then 5-6, should I say? Racing Point 7-8, funnily enough, and then myself in P9 there with Magnussen getting the final point, beating Daniel Ricciardo in the end, which is good stuff for him. In the Drivers' Championship, then, I believe Hamilton still leads the way by 5 points now over Sebastian Vettel, with Bottas and Charles Leclerc next up ahead of the two Red Bulls. We're down in P11, though, with just the 3 points so far this season. Early days, though, you can see Racing Point already establishing themselves as the fourth fastest team. And, yeah, we're going to have to do a lot of work to try and catch them up.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. That was a good race for Lucas. Are you pleased to see him doing well?
Honestly, I know he's a nice guy, but I really don't give a crap.
You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled.
I mean, yeah, the car was doing great, so can't complain.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Oh, wow, you're happy for once after an interview. Great. Congratulations, Claire. Anyway then, there, as you can see then, that is going to be it for this F1 2019 career mode. If you guys have enjoyed today's career mode, feel free to, like I said at the start of the video, drop it a like, and if you've not yet subscribed to the channel already, please feel free to click that subscribe button. And of course, yeah, we're going to be getting our team goal though, which is to finish 9th or better, so that's 600 resource points, which is critical for myself as we try and look to develop the car very, very fast. And you can see then, I think we should make an upgrade. I don't actually remember. I've got 1,700 resource points, so I'm pretty sure that I do. Let's have a look and see if I actually get my act together and get something. I don't believe I can actually, because I don't have any developments available at the moment. So no, that is going to be it for today's episode. So anyway, guys, hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Take care all. Peace.